Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. The Healthcare Professionals Alliance Against COVID-19 opposed the move of the Transportation Department to relax physical distancing in public transport as it is too early to do so. The organization also reminded the public to not let the guard down as the fight against the virus continues. Let's watch this report from our correspondent Bettina Unite.
Healthcare professionals in the country oppose the move of the Transportation Department to relax physical distancing in public transport as it is too early to do so. The Healthcare Professionals Alliance Against COVID-19, or HPAAC, an alliance of more than 160 member organizations of healthcare professionals and health workers working together to address the pandemic, stated in an online press briefing Monday that they do not support the easing of physical distancing in public transport. Dr. Antonio Danz, an internist, evidence-based medicine practitioner, and clinical epidemiologist from HPAAC, underscored that while sooner or later the government has to reduce physical distancing for public utility vehicles to accommodate more passengers, they believe that implementing the policy now is too early and may cause a rise in cases.
Malamang na dumami lalo ang kaso at bumagal ang recovery natin kung gawin natin ito ngayon. Ang maganda doon, Zach, ay tuloy ang usapan, tuloy ang pagpupulong with the Department of Transportation, the Interagency Task Force, the National Implementation Task Force, kasi at pati ang DOH, no? Kasi kailangang importanteng mag-usap para lahat ng issue naririnig, no? Alam naman namin hindi lang health ang issue. Issue rin na kailangan bumalik ang ekonomiya. Issue rin na kailangan maghanap buhay ang mga tao, no? Issue rin na dadami ang magkakasakit dahil sa strategy na ito.
Recognizing that relaxing physical distancing is also about the recovery of the economy, Danz said they continue to engage with the government and key stakeholders to address the issue and provide Filipinos protection while they continue with their livelihood. The organization also appealed to the public to not let their guard down as the fight against the virus continues, noting that a whole-of-society approach to manage COVID-19 is needed so Filipinos can safely enjoy Christmas with their families.
So tutol kami dito, inuulit namin. At tuloy kaming nakikipag-usap. Sa huling meeting, humingi ho ng datos ang Interagency Task Force para sa matulungan sila sa desisyon na to. Ano ba talaga ang effect sa pandemic? Ilan ang bagong kaso? Hindi na ho kami natulog nitong nakaraang 2 gabi para lang matapos ang mga pagsusuri na to at sinumiti na po namin sa Interagency Task Force ang recommendations namin.
HPAAC is a non-profit, non-partisan, and non-stock alliance of healthcare professionals and health workers which was formed in order to unify the voices of medical professionals with the goal of producing evidence-based proposals to beat COVID-19. For MB Now, this is Bettina Unite reporting.
Meantime, Malacanang assured health workers that the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases remains open to their recommendations regarding the easing of physical distancing measures inside public transportations. In his Monday presser, presidential spokesman Harry Roque said the IATF will once again discuss the directive of the DOTR to reduce distancing measures inside public transportation from 1 meter to 0.75 meters. Roque, however, explained that the move was made to help those who are going to work as the government reopens the economy.
Inaprubahan po yan ng IATF dahil hindi natin mabubuksan ng ekonomiya kung hindi po natin dadagdagan yung ating transportasyon. Pero siyempre po, hindi naman tayo magbibingi-bingihan sa mga opinyon ng ating mga medical frontliners. So bubuksan po uli ang usapin tungkol dito bukas po sa susunod na meeting ng IATF.
The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases has presented to President Duterte the benefits of extending or lifting the deployment ban of overseas Filipino nurses. Health workers and those who currently have no work were urged to apply for a job in the government, saying the Department of Health is currently hiring medical frontliners. Our Malacanang correspondent Argel Educos has this report.
Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles said the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases has presented some options to President Duterte on how to address the plight of overseas Filipino nurses amid the deployment ban. Nograles, co-chair of the IATF, said they included in their letter to the chief executive the supposed benefits of extending or lifting the deployment ban that was declared in April this year to address the labor shortage amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
At nakikipag-ugnayan na rin po tayo sa Office of the President, no, kay Pangulong Duterte mismo. Meron po tayo mga options na binibigay kay Pangulong Duterte at pinakita namin doon sa sulat namin kay Pangulo kung ilan ang mga nurses na naapektuhan at ilan ang mga nurses ang maaring makabenefit kung i-extend pa natin at payagan pa natin yung mga nakapagpirma ng kontrata as of, let's say, beyond March, no? So may options po kaming binigay kay Pangulong Duterte at abangan na lang po natin ano yung magiging desisyon ni Pangulo tungkol dito.
He added that the discussion in the IATF about the fate of overseas Filipino health workers has always been ongoing. Meanwhile, Nograles urged health workers and those who currently have no work to apply for a job in the government, saying the Department of Health is currently hiring medical frontliners.
Gusto ko na lang din gamitin tong pagkakataon na sabihin sa ating mga nurses, medical frontliners, mga medtechs, and those medical field na walang trabaho at naghahanap ng trabaho. Ang Department of Health po, no, ay sa kasalukuyan ay nag-hire po ng mga medical frontliners. So kung wala po kayong trabaho, pwede po kayong mag-apply sa DOH.
The former lawmaker said that the government is in need of more medical frontliners as it adds more isolation quarantine facilities. For MB Now, this is Argel Educos reporting.
Vice President Leni welcomed the newly signed Bayanihan to recover as one law. But for her, the fund is not enough and that it is comparatively small to the budget being spent by other countries for their COVID-19 operations. Correspondent Raymond Antonio has the details.
Vice President Leni welcomed the newly signed Bayanihan to recover as one law. But she said it is not enough to address the problems brought by the coronavirus pandemic. She was referring to the 165.5 billion fund allocated under the Bayanihan 2 measure, the 6th to cushion the impact of COVID-19. The Vice President noted the amount is comparatively small to the budget being spent by other countries for their COVID-19 operations.
Medyo nabagalan ito pero buti naman napirmahan na kahapon. Pero ang point natin, Eli, kulang yung ginagastos natin. Considering na grabe yung pangangailangan. Parang yung Bayanihan 260 billion. Ang buong kinumpara natin ito, Eli, sa ginagastos ng ibang mga bansa para sa COVID-19 operations, napakaliit niya. And considering na isa tayo sa pinakamalala yung sitwasyon, dapat sana mas gumagastos tayo para sa lahat ng mga problema natin ngayon. Yung Bayanihan 1, parang 300 plus billion. Ang Bayanihan po ay 165. Pag kinumpara natin to sa ginagastos ng ibang bansa, napakaliit.
Robredo said the government must spend more and spend efficiently with utmost sense of urgency.
Kahit gastos lang tayo ng gastos, kung mali yung paggastos ay mali pa din. So ito yung punto natin dito. Sana bilisan yung paggastos kasi maraming mga bagay na mabagal talaga tayo. Halimbawa yung contact tracing app, last week lang na-launch. Kahapon, para mag-hire ng 50,000 contact tracers at PILG, dapat sana noon pa natin ito ginawa. Dahil kailangan na. Pero syempre parating welcome na gagawin na finally. Pero sana sa ibang bagay ka, Ellie, bilis-bilisan. Bilis-bilisan yung paggawa kasi wala tayong luxury ng oras sa kapanahon.
Duterte signed Bayanihan 2 law that provides for a stimulus package of 140 billion pesos in regular appropriation and the remaining 25.5 billion as standby funds. This would finance several government programs such as improvement of health care resources, cash for work program, agriculture support, assistance to COVID-19 hit industries, and procurement of coronavirus vaccines. For MB Now, this is Raymond Antonio reporting.
Nearly 2,500 new job vacancies in government will be up for grabs in the week-long Government Online Career Fair, or GOCF. According to the Civil Service Commission, the GOCF from September 14 to 18 is one of the main activities of this year's 120th Philippine Civil Service Anniversary, or PSCSA, and is held in partnership with JobStreet.com. The CSC and JobStreet.com have gathered 2,452 vacancies from 249 national government agencies, including central and regional offices, local government units, government-owned and controlled corporations, and state universities and colleges. To join the GOCF, job seekers are required to go to https://onlinejobfair.jobstreet.com.ph and type in their email address and fill out the CSC form number 100 or the personal data sheet, or PDS. The PDS will be automatically attached to the account once created. Once registered, applicants will be able to view the job postings starting Monday, September 14. The Hotel Sales and Marketing Association of the Philippines welcomed the move to allow staycations in general community quarantine areas. On Friday, Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat confirmed that the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases has approved the department's request to allow staycations even under GCQ as part of the various ways in restarting tourism activities during quarantine. HSMA President Christine Ibarreta told the Manila Bulletin that the decision will stimulate business all over the country and will help start rebuilding tourism. This, as the hotel sector, as part of the tourism industry, is among the hardest hit by the pandemic. She also added that the move is very timely, as the group will hold a massive online sale to entice travelers once restrictions have been eased. Around 89 member hotels, accommodation establishments, including famous resorts across the Philippines, are expected to offer up to 70% off on their regular rates in the September online sale, or SOS, scheduled September 15 to 30. In a letter sent by Puyat to Tourism Congress of the Philippines President Jose Clemente III, dated September 11, she said the DOT is currently updating the staycation guidelines earlier drafted by the organization to consider additional comments and suggestions of the IATF EID. In Metro News, Pasig to hold online training for teachers and administrators. Taytay to require use of mobile contact tracing application in all establishments. And Manila Restaurant Week opens next week. More from this report.
Pasig City will host this week an online training for teachers and school administrators about online learning as school opening nears despite the threat of COVID-19, entitled #Heroes 2021. The training is open to all public and private school teachers and school administrators in the city. The online training will be held through video conferencing app Zoom and will be live streamed on Pasig City's Facebook page on September 16 at 1 p.m. According to Mayor Vico Soto, COVID can't stop teachers from teaching and COVID won't stop students from learning. The use of a mobile contact tracing application may also be a requirement for establishments both private and public in Taytay municipalities starting this week. The application can be downloaded from the internet by individuals, establishments, schools, logistics, transportations, and others that see the need for contact tracing, thus ensuring safety against the uncertainties brought about by the pandemic. An individual, instead of going through the hassle of manually filling up health declaration form, will only be used mobile to scan a QR code which records his/her entry there. An individual or establishment can generate QR code from the same mobile app for free according to Cosmotech Philippines. All one need to do is register with the system, providing basic information and a photo according to the municipal government. To promote local food establishments in the capital city, a food festival dubbed the Manila Restaurant Week will be held on September 20 to 27. Manila Mayor Francisco Esco Moreno Dumagoso said the project that will be formally launched this week will help local businesses improve their earnings after being hit by the COVID-19 crisis. Over 60 food establishments are expected to participate in the food festival, which will offer prix-fix breakfast, lunch, and/or dinner meals at affordable price. The city government has also tapped award-winning singer-actress Lea Salonga to promote the week-long food festival. The Manila Mayor urged establishments in the city to continue to comply with government-issued health and safety protocols. The Manila Restaurant Week is an offshoot of the #Manila Support Local Challenge to entice residents people to eat, shop, and patronize local products and businesses.
Now are the top news in other parts of the country. Fuel tanker plunges into the Gov't ravine. NPA bomb facility in Basay, Samar discovered. And COVID-19 recoveries in Davao region surpassed 2,000 mark. More from this report.
A fuel tanker truck with 24,000 liters of gasoline fell off a ravine in Sitio Baway, Taloy Sur, Tuba, Benguet early Monday morning. According to Cordillera Provincial Police, the truck from Batasan Hills, Quezon City was on its way to Baguio City when the incident happened. The driver was negotiating an uphill portion of the road and tried to overtake another fuel tanker when the 18-wheeler truck suddenly veered towards the shoulder of the road and plunged into the 8-meter ravine. The driver was taken to the Baguio General Hospital by responding personnel of the Bureau of Fire for medical treatment. A bomb manufacturing facility reportedly maintained by the New People's Army in Basay, Samar was discovered by the Army and police operatives. Seized from the site were 5 bombs, 18 bombshells, wires, steel cutters, bomb-making components, and subversive documents. According to authorities, the NPA could have been preparing bombs for future attacks on authorities and civilians. Davao Region's data on successful recoveries from coronavirus disease has surpassed the 2,000 mark on Sunday. Based on the regional case bulletin for September 13, 9 of the latest recoveries were from Davao City, 3 were from Davao del Norte, and 1 each from Davao Occidental and Davao Oriental. However, Davao Region currently has 397 active cases after 14 additional cases of COVID-19 were recorded on Sunday.
In world news, more than 30 killed and dozens still missing in a record-breaking wildfire in U.S. West Coast. Israel announces 3-week nationwide coronavirus lockdown. And disgusting food museum opens in Sweden. Let's watch this.
33 people have been killed and dozens were still missing in a record-breaking wildfires in West Coast of the United States of America. Trump plans to meet Monday with the heads of California's emergency services, battling history-making infernos that have now burned through nearly 2 million hectares, an area roughly the size of the state of New Jersey and an annual record with nearly 4 months of the fire season still to come. Officials warned of further fatalities with swathes of lands in California, Oregon, and Washington, still cut off by flames fueled by tinder-dry conditions of the kind climate change causes. Trump has made little comment about the blazes in recent weeks, but at a Nevada campaign event on Saturday, he acknowledged the scope of the disaster. Top officials of West Coast accused Trump of downplaying global warming that is happening to the land of dreams. Israel's government announced Saturday it would impose a 3-week nationwide lockdown in an effort to stem one of the world's highest novel coronavirus infection rates after a surge in cases. The lockdown order, set to go into effect on Friday, makes Israel the first developed economy to take such a drastic measure to curb a second wave of virus infections. The announcement comes despite pushback from part of the ultra-Orthodox contingent in government over enforcing a lockdown during the holidays. Under the lockdown guidelines, still to be finalized, indoor gatherings would be limited to 10 people and outdoor gatherings to 20, meaning prayers at synagogues would be severely impacted. Israel, with a population of 9 million, has recorded 155,604 COVID-19 cases, including 1,119 deaths. Poop, wine, and scorpion vodka are just some of the stars of a new exhibit on revolting alcohol at the Disgusting Food Museum in Malmö in Sweden. A large jug of yellowish semi-translucent liquid is the centerpiece of the new exhibit, wine made from human excrement. It is also a traditional Korean medicine that cure bone breakage and bruises, according to the museum's director Andreas Ahrens. Despite its focus on repulsion, the Disgusting Food Museum has seen a growing number of visitors since opening its doors 2 years ago. In addition to Malmö, it has staged exhibitions in Nantes, Berlin, and Los Angeles, but the COVID-19 pandemic health crisis forced it to close for a few weeks due to a lack of visitors. With the new alcohol exhibition, which will be on display for 3 months, Ahrens hopes to entice visitors after months of scarcity.
In entertainment, Filipino filmmaker Love Diaz won Best Director for his movie Lahi Hayop or Janus Pan in the Horizonte section of Venice Film Festival held last Saturday. Lahi Hayop is about 3 illegal miners journey back to their island after months of toiling in hellish conditions. With their hard-earned money, they traversed the sea, the mountains, and the forest until they reached their destination. Diaz was also the writer, editor, and cinematographer in his latest movie that runs for 2 hours and 37 minutes. Lahi Hayop was also nominated for Best Film and Jury Prize in the same section. The Venice Film Festival is said to be the oldest film festival and equals in prestige alongside Cannes and Berlin film festivals. CL of 2NE1 marked a new era in her music career with the release of her latest single, Post Up. The song and its official music video were released on September 14, Monday, already reached more than 340,000 views in just 2 hours after its YouTube premiere. The singer, dubbed by fans as the baddest Asian female, showed her rap and dancing skills in the song's music video. Within minutes after the video release of Post Up, the hashtag #PostUp_CL took the #1 spot in the trending topics in the Philippines. And in sports, the PBA Chicks to Go Pilipinas 3-on-3 and Philippines Football League remained hopeful despite a lukewarm response by the government regarding the immediate resumption of training scrimmages and games. Commissioners of 3 pro leagues said they will continue to adhere to quarantine regulations after Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles said over the weekend that the government is not yet confident enough to allow scrimmages and games to resume. Nograles added that it would be advisable for the leagues to continue with the workouts being done by the teams under strict health protocols like social distancing and disinfection. PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall, whose league is set to finalize on Thursday, plans to hold its season under a bubble concept, had earlier said the PBA plans to restart on October 9. But Marshall has not ruled out the possibility of canceling the season if things don't go as planned. Chooks 3-on-3 is hoping to start a week earlier, or October 2 to be exact, under a similar bubble at the Inspire Sports Academy in Calamba, Laguna. And those are the news on Web today, September 14, 2020. It's 102 days before Christmas. For more news and details, get your copy of the Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow or log on to www.mb.com.ph, or you may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Join us again tomorrow. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.